Harvestime Church, this is Alyssa. Welcome to The Secretary. Here we will dive into the nitty-gritty discussions about God and how to live a real life. I am Alyssa Thoms, a secretary from Harvestime Church in Wisconsin. With my desk sitting in the middle of the office, I get to be a part of the pastor's eureka moments and amazing discussions. But only a portion makes it into the sermon on Sunday. I want to bring you into my world of being in the crossroads of these amazing conversations. It's easy sometimes to get caught up in the duty of reading the Bible, and you can forget, especially in the Old Testament, how prophetic it can be. There are many things that we take as the old law, or perhaps they aren't culturally relevant anymore. But to comprehend how God works through His Word is nearly impossible, no matter how long you've been studying it. These things from the Bible do affect us, even the things that we don't expect or understand. Several years ago, Pastor Kim got extremely sick with Lyme's disease. Now, if you don't know anything about Lyme's, it is, according to the CDC, caused by bacteria that is transmitted through blackleg ticks. Some symptoms are fever or headache, fatigue, sometimes migraines, or in Pastor Kim's sake, a lot of pain, especially in the joints. Now, this was several years ago, and he went through treatment when he found out he had it. After that, he was flying pretty good for a while. Well, Lyme's disease has this thing where the symptoms could very well return after being dormant for a while. Once you have it, you always have it. Pastor Kim started experiencing symptoms again and was going through a pretty difficult time. Eventually, it came to a point where he had to go into the doctor's office, and, long story short, he ended up going through some new treatment that they had available.
Yeah, I met Christopher Durham and Targeting Lyme online. I saw him, and then other people recommended him because when I had Lyme once before, about 6 years ago, I just did the textures and things like that. And I don't want to be anti-medicine because I'm not anti-medicine, but boy, if I can do anything holistic for healing, I'm going to go that way. And he just shared his story about where he couldn't walk, he couldn't talk, just went to so many doctors and there was nothing happening in his life. I just decided to go there because I saw what was happening in him, bringing healing to him. And if it was healing him, I decided, man, I can do that in my own life.
For 6 months, he had to go in and have frequencies pulsed into him. It's very difficult for a person, especially a fairly busy person, to leave midday, midweek, every week for 6 months to go to a 2-hour ordeal and fix this issue.
Yeah, well, when I went there the first time, it was this machine. It's just a light machine they put behind your head, and it lights up with different frequencies. And I don't know how many hundreds of frequencies actually happened in the middle of this, because what Lyme does is it gives off frequency. It's kind of like a sonar radar type thing. If you bounce it off, and if there's something there, it sends it back. And that's what was happening. And they checked me out, and I had 8 different types of Lyme. So it was pretty advanced, and growing was the cause of that. And so what they do is they connected me with different types of frequencies that would take care of the Lyme that I had. And so I go there, and it's kind of intense. Sometimes I sit in front of a light, and they beam it. Sometimes it's through a foot bath that they do it. And then every night I have one on my bed, and it emits as I sleep. And it's literally taking care of us as I sleep every single night. So for the past 6 months, I've been sleeping with that and then going for an hour more intense. And then there's kind of like little tents that I sweat in and drink a lot of water because you have to flush this dead stuff out. If you don't, I have gotten extremely nauseous and sick and sleepy after a treatment, because it kills a bunch of stuff and you got to get it out of your body.
He's been in good spirits, though. It's nothing really he complains about, but we know it wears on him, like it would anyone. Well, in this case, I didn't really know about the electromagnetic frequencies, but today I started asking him what they actually did at the treatment. According to my knowledge, like I said, I wasn't quite aware of anything that they had new research regarding the disease. Then he started telling me the outcome that they hoped for after the 6-month treatment had been completed.
When I went the first time, they shot all these frequencies out and 8 different ones registered. 3 months into it, they did it again. Only 3 registered. So 5 of them were gone. And then at the end of 6 months, they'll do it again. And they show videos and there's teachings on it that these vibrations literally can explode the cells, explode Lyme. You know, the vibrations, boom, and they explode. And so that's what's happening when I go there. It's literally vibrating. At first it was all 8. Now it's just 3 recycling over and over and over again at different intensities. When I go during the week, it's really intense. In my bedroom with the bed, it isn't that intense. You know, it's just low level that we just keep doing it because your body actually can fight this off if it's not getting overwhelmed. And so the idea is once it's beat down enough, you know, it can be conquered. And so the study is that everything in us gives a frequency, and if you give a alternating frequency, you can actually destroy what is wrong. And there's experiments I know in Israel working with cancer. You know, it's all experimental stage. There's people that will question this. There's people that take it to extremes of witchcraft and, you know, your body emits healing power. I don't believe that, but I do believe God has an answer for every disease.
I thought this was amazing. Scientists have come so far that we can use frequency, basically sound or light, to heal diseases and imperfections.
There's different frequencies. Rocks give different frequencies. In fact, there's videos on YouTube where you can see where bridges literally collapse because they aren't lined up with the frequency of rocks. The bridges start to wave and collapse. It's it went viral as a YouTube clip that there are things that can be healed by different frequencies. Looking it up, different like diabetes with a 4,000 frequency, immune system stimulation 4,400. 4,014, excuse me. And I'm just looking up a chart. Here's an interesting one. Clothing, just clothing limits. Linen, for example. You look at different frequencies and they'll heal one or two things. Again, don't take my word for it. Look it up on Wikipedia. Linen gives a 5,000 frequency, where polyester gives you disco fever. But 5,000, the list of things that can be healed through a 5,000 frequency is just incredible. There must be 30 different things healed from wearing linen. Another high one is wool, 5,000. Okay, so I'm wearing a linen shirt, and then I put on a wool sweater because it gets cold. And science tells us that because they're both the same frequency, they'll cancel each other out.
Are we naturally healed by wearing clothes? I was trying to get my head around this idea, even though I've heard it a few times that everything admits its frequency. There's YouTube videos, like Pastor Kim said, about how the solar systems and oceans are all singing together. There's frequencies. But there's more to it than I thought. Remember earlier when I said that the Bible has a way of coming back up, being a prophetic message that never settles into a complete understanding? Well, this is where Pastor Kim brought up Deuteronomy 22:11.
And this is why I believe God has an answer for us, because literally in Deuteronomy 22:11, he commands his people never wear linen and wool together. And now science is proving that if you wear linen and wool, there's no healing process taking off. And so that's what amazes me. I love it when science catches up to the immaculate awesomeness of our God.
I can't help but think about the forethought God had. He had complete understanding as he created properties that go into every single creation. It's a beautifully complex world, filled with things that our science will never catch up with. It's impossible. And we'll never completely understand. But what we do have to give us structure, letting us know we're doing it right, is the Bible. And we know that the book gives a perfect list of ingredients for our lives, even if we don't know what half the spices are. Trust the process.